Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and on today's program we will sit down and talk with Steve Perdios of the Friends of Faxon Park and learn more about tomorrow's cleanup and more about the Friends themselves. First, though, we check out weather and news for you. Currently in Quincy, some sunshine breaking through the clouds right now. It is 53 degrees. Any leftover showers will be coming to an end this afternoon. Temperatures will climb into the mid, maybe upper 50s. Looks like a clear night tonight. Temperatures will dip down to the mid-30s, rather breezy tonight as well. I think tomorrow is actually the pick of the weekend. For the first weekend of April, we've got lots of sunshine tomorrow. The temperatures in the mid, maybe upper 50s. Could see some showers around here on Sunday afternoon especially, and high Sunday again, the mid to upper 50s. A very April-like forecast into next week with the chance for showers by midweek. Monday looks okay though with sunshine and a high Monday around 57 degrees. Again, partly sunny, 53 Quincy right now. In the news today, state transportation officials toured Quincy Center earlier this week to talk about the future needs of the city. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch says that he was joined by MBTA General Manager Steve Poftak to discuss the future of the Quincy Center T-Station.
But we, for the development purposes around the station, we want some parking. Sure. So it's going to be a combination of the city, the developer, and the state, MBTA specifically, how we work out the design, the replacement of the station. Everybody knows that station is in poor condition, and you get out of that station and you're, I don't know, 75 yards from the two presidents and their wives, and it's not a very pretty entrance, when you start out from the station. Quickly changes when you go into the common. Yeah. But the station needs a lot of TLC, and I know that they're looking at it also from a perspective of operations. How can they improve things for operations? And one of those is to move the busway to the Bergen Parkway side, get it out of the congestion on Hancock Street. Bergen's a four-lane road, get them in and out of there, and I think that's going to be a big improvement, and that's going to allow us to kind of move forward with the conceptuals on the development stuff. So, there's a lot of moving parts on that one because it's station replacement, it's development, it's bus operation changes. You got commuter rail there, the platform issues. And when you're constructing or building over the air rights, that makes things even more difficult permitting-wise. So, a long way to go, but we've got the attention of both the Secretary of Transportation and the General Manager of the MBTA. So we'll be walking through those issues.
Earlier this week, the mayor was also joined by State Transportation Secretary Jamie Tesler to talk about the need for a new parking garage on McConville Way to service the new development that Fox Rock Properties will be creating at the site of the former Ross parking garage. Mayor said some of the federal pandemic stimulus money that was awarded to the city could be tapped for that project. The future of Wollaston Center now up for discussion at the City Hall level. Officials want to have Wollaston Center declared an urban revitalization district. That would streamline the process for private developers to begin new projects in the district. Earlier this week, the Quincy Planning Board held a special meeting to discuss that process. Mayor Thomas Koch says declaring the urban revitalization district in Wollaston would clear the way for some public infrastructure improvements, although he does not anticipate the city purchasing any property in Wollaston Center. Mayor says new development in Wollaston would not need city council approval. However, declaring that new district would need approval from both the city council and the State Department of Housing and Community Development. Beginning today, the plastic bag ban in Quincy is back. Officials say single-use disposable plastic bags will no longer be offered at checkout retail establishments. There is a 1-month transition period, so stores can use up their existing inventory of plastic bags. However, beginning May 1st, the bags can no longer be offered. The ban on plastic bags in Quincy was suspended in August of 2020 due to the pandemic. However, the CDC later determined that surface transmission for COVID-19 was not a threat. Businesses that fail to comply with the plastic bag ban are subject to fines of between $50 and $100 for each violation. Quincy City Council will resume meeting in person Monday night. Council President Noel DeBona says the April 4th meeting will be held in the council chambers in the Great Hall at City Hall, Monday beginning at 6:30. The public will be allowed to attend the meeting. City Council held its last in-person meeting March 9th of 2020 when it got an update on the coronavirus from now retired Health Commissioner Ruth Jones. Since then, the council has been meeting remotely via Zoom. In January, 5 of the 9 councilors were sworn in for the new council term in person. 2 others were remote, and the remaining 2 were sworn in earlier that same day. Well, the New England Free Jacks Major League Rugby team will be at home tomorrow at 4:30 at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Quincy to play New Orleans. This is the first season for the team here in Quincy. At a press conference held recently at City Hall, the head coach, Scott Matthey, said that Quincy was the perfect place for the team to call home.
I think that's what I'm into. I was an educator before I got into coaching, so I'm really interested in how games develop people and grow people. And with Quincy having such a rich sporting history, whether it's football, baseball, I just really believe strongly that rugby has a massive role to play in the future of Quincy and the future of New England. And I say this because I've seen the character development in myself. It's a sport that you must front up physically. You must face a physical fear.
Before tomorrow's game against the New Orleans Gold, there'll be 16 college rugby teams competing to qualify for their national tournament. Those matches will start at 7:15 tomorrow morning. The Free Jacks also say that their home games always include adult and children's entertainment and a halftime youth rugby showcase. The Free Jacks lead the Eastern Conference of Major League Rugby after beating Atlanta last weekend. Coming up, we sit down with Steve Perdios of the Friends of Faxon Park. That's next. Welcome back. Another sure sign of spring. The Friends of Faxon Park are getting back in action with the big cleanup of Faxon Park set for tomorrow. So Steve Perdios from the Friends has stopped on by to chat with us about the group and about the cleanup. Hey, Steve, good to see you.
Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for coming over. Appreciate it.
Yep, happy to be here.
Yeah, it's better than 25 years ago today when we had the blizzard of '97.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, we were shoveling 2 feet of snow, right?
Yeah, that was the only cleanup at Faxon Park that year was plowing.
I forgot about that one. That was,
How are the Friends doing?
We're doing good.
Yeah.
You know, we're sort of coming out of COVID like everybody else is.
Yeah.
You know, so we had sort of we sort of started in some momentum pre-COVID, and then it was sort of So now we're sort of trying to get our feet back underneath us again. Let's say, to get things moving.
The group itself, so it's pretty new, right? The Friends.
So yes. So the concept was sort of revitalized, I'll say, a couple of years ago by myself and Laurie Kroll, Dana Harkins, and Serenity Bellows. So the 4 of us were kind of talking. We'd run into each other on occasion. We'd say, hey, we should really do something more for Faxon Park, and we got to get a friends group together. And so the 4 of us kind of started meeting on a regular basis, and then said, okay, let's see how we can kind of get this going. And just as we sort of started to get some head of steam going up, that's when kind of COVID hit. And so so now we're, like I say, with the cleanup, trying to revitalize things, get things moving again, get some regular meetings, monthly meetings going, and trying to get our agenda moving forward again. So
how many Friends are there now, Steve? Would you say, just roughly?
I don't know. I mean, everybody loves Faxon Park, right? Everybody's a friend of Faxon Park, right? There's dozens and dozens of people that go up there every day. It's a well-used park. In my opinion, it's the nicest park in the city of Quincy. So, but it's and what's nice about it is it's you don't have hundreds of people using it. You can go up there and you can get kind of isolated in the woods, and it's really nice. It's a really great spot to take your dog for a walk, or just go up with your kids and whatnot, take a walk or whatever, and just see some beautiful parts of the city.
Oh yeah, you'd never know you were in the middle of an urban
exactly.
area.
And that really says it right. You phrased it right. You get up there and you wouldn't realize that you're 2 minutes from some crazy congestion right down at the bottom of the hill. I love Blue Hills. I'll go up to Blue Hills. you drive to Billville, you're going to get to Blue Hills, and you're over there. This is right in the heart of the city. This is right in our neighborhood. So it's really
encompassing
fantastic.
several wards too, right?
No, it's all in Ward 2. Yeah,
it's all in Ward 2.
Yeah,
How big is Faxon Park?
Faxon Park is in the 72-acre range.
Okay.
A little backstory on it. So pieces of it have been donated over the last 100 years. From the first major pieces came from the Faxon family, and then it sat about that size on the 50-so acre for a long, long time, and then there was the attempt in the 90s to put Quincy High School down there. And there were 13 acres that were bought, and then that kind of came to a standstill. And then in the early 2006, we got the Community Preservation Act passed in the city, and we were able to buy another 13 acres of land that wraps around, from Faxon Park, wraps around a development up there, Highland Development, and ties back into the old Quincy High School property. We refer to it kind of the old Quincy High property. It's anyhow, and then picked up a couple other small pieces using CPA funds. So it's now in the 72-acre range, and there's actually one piece of property that divides. It's right on the Quincy-Braintree line.
Okay.
And it's used some industrial. They test. There's an old quarry up there, and they test sonar equipment. Yeah, but there's another piece of it, a good-sized piece that's just forested, and it connects Quincy to Braintree. And on the Braintree side, there's over 100 acres that are already preserved. So this is a key linchpin to really kind of expand the park and make the whole thing really an outstanding piece for the multiple communities.
Yeah, of that 72 or so acres, how much of it would you say is actually usable, for the public?
All of it.
Okay.
All of it is usable. All of it is usable. There's a couple areas where there was some construction activity for a while. They were using it to kind of transfer soils back and forth for other construction projects, and we've been advocating to the city to wind that operation down. So now there were some old construction vehicles up there, an old bulldozer. All that's gone now, and so we're trying to get those areas kind of cleaned up and usable. But beyond that, which is only a few acres, the rest of the site is open for everybody.
Okay.
Walking trails. There's walking trails, and there's a baseball field and basketball court, softball field, and plenty of woods. Plenty of woods to go up and get lost in.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Wildlife in
absolutely.
Really?
Faxon Park. There was a development that tried to get in there, the Hazeltine property, the 13 acres that we bought using CPA funds. They tried to put in I want to say like 150 units of condominiums, and in order to do that, they had to do a study of the wildlife up there, and so they brought in some scientists, and they studied the area. That is deer, turkey, not wolves, coyotes, owls. Hawks, all kinds of, and I have seen the deer up there myself. Like we drive by at night and you see them kind of on the edge of the road.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's really cool. Yeah, it's a great park.
Now, tell me about the Friends themselves. You're now an established 501c3 corporation.
Well, not yet. We're close. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. Before COVID hit, we were really on the cusp of kind of getting there.
So I think saying that was the big goal.
That's right. Yeah. So I think we're going to see in the next 3 to 6 months that those we'll be able to check those boxes and get to that point. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we're heading in sort of the short term, to kind of get the organization a bit more formalized.
Yes.
And we're trying, like I say, we're trying to get back to having monthly meetings, and
I know you've had some virtual meetings, quite a few actually.
Yeah. Absolutely, we have.
Have those been well attended, would you say?
We get a half dozen to a dozen people.
Okay.
Show. It's mostly neighbors, people that are really concerned about the park.
Yeah.
And so as we have more events, we intend to. It'll absolutely grow. We're not worried about it. We had a great. We called it a picnic in the park last year.
Yes, I remember.
Band. There were over 100 people showed up. It was a great time. It was really a great time. Really great event. Showcased the park. It was a lot of fun. And so it's a great location. It's a great park. It's a great neighborhood, family oriented location. So.
What are the concerns that people have about it? What come up at these meetings? What kind of things are folks saying that they'd like to see happen or not happen?
For starters, no matter what you're advocating for, you're always advocating for money. You're always saying, well, we got to get more money for this, whether it be this other tide mill or whatever, whatever neighborhood group it is. We have $800,000. The city has allocated several years ago $800,000. I mean, that's kind of
Just
crazy.
for Faxon Park?
Just it's earmarked for Faxon Park. And
Okay.
so
Just sitting there, waiting?
just sitting there.
Okay.
Just sitting there. So please, let's start to spend some of this money.
Yeah.
Let's get some things done. You know, we were happy we got a kiosk, right? A kiosk, small kiosk, a few $100s, right? We finally get a kiosk up
Okay.
there, right? We have a couple of portable bathrooms, right? So we want to get a permanent bathroom up there, right? The fire department would love to have a fire hydrant up there, right?
Okay.
So the water and sewer extended from Faxon Park Road up into the park.
Oh, okay.
Bathrooms, water fountains, improvements to the parking area, and then more, better demarcation of the trails,
Yes.
things like that. So there's a lot of things that can be done to improve the usability of the park, and while still keeping it the beautiful natural gem that it is for the city. So
The kiosk, is that where the trails are kind of explained for folks?
that's kind of the plan, right? It was just put in over the winter. It's near the playground that's down near Faxon Park Road.
Okay.
There's a small top lot down there. It's a great little playground.
Busy all the time because I go
And
by there often.
that's busy all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really a nice playground. Kids love it. Families go there. Want to encourage people to really continue to explore it. So that's what the kiosk would be there to kind of introduce people
I see.
that come in. Here's some of the other features of the park. you
Okay,
know.
all right. Is that the main entrance? Or is that the
Yeah,
only
that's right at the main entrance.
Are
You
there
got-
other access points?
Walking.
Oh, walking,
That's
sure,
that's
yeah.
the only driving entrance to
Okay.
the park, right? That's the only place there's some other points you hop over the wall. You know, it's got the historic wall that wraps around it. Was built under WPA in
Yes.
the 1940s.
Yes.
Beautiful stone benches throughout the park.
Yep.
Then there's the overlook, the old overlook where there's a circular area and it's all stone wall, beautiful stone wall up there. And so the park's unique and it's really beautiful.
Do you find that folks who are new to the city are finding Faxon Park? Do they know about it, or is there an effort to kind of reach out to the new arrivals?
Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah.
People that have moved to the city, it's such a big city. People coming and going all the
Sure.
time, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's pretty easy to find. It's pretty easy to find if you're at the city's website or you Googling Faxon Park. It's pretty easy to find, or parks in Quincy.
Yes.
anything like that.
Is it the biggest one in Quincy, would you say? Or is Marymount bigger?
Marymount is, you
Okay.
can look at Marymount and it's get various parts, right?
Right.
And, so Faxon Park's a bit more centralized. And so if it's not the biggest, it's the second biggest,
Okay.
you know what I mean, in the city. But
It's a question for Dave Murphy, maybe.
right. And it isn't even about, we're not comparing parks. It's
No,
Faxon
yeah.
Park is a beautiful park in and of itself. In my opinion, it's the nicest park in the city. It's a lot of great features, accessibility for everybody right there, right in the neighborhood, So I can't say enough good things about it,
Okay. Let's talk about the cleanup tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going to be happening?
Yeah. Tomorrow, we're meeting up at the pavilion. There's a few different areas of the park that, it sort of collected debris over the winter. We ran a cleanup. I think we did one. I can't remember if we did one or two last year. We did one last year, and in COVID, it was a little less well attended.
Yeah.
So we're expecting to get a pretty good crowd for this. Right around the pavilion area, there's debris because that's kind of where you have a lot of people coming and going. But there's also another area closer to Camden where we've had homeless encampments in the past, and they've all been moved on at this point now. But we've still got to get in there and kind of clean that up. It's sort of behind the old Lindy's parking lot.
Oh,
so
all right. Okay.
There's sort of a couple of areas where we want to kind of focus on to really get some debris that's in there out. So,
Okay. So how does it all work? It's you see here 10 to 1 tomorrow at the pavilion, which is where?
Well, if you go in the main road, if you come up Faxon Park Road, you follow the road all the way to the top.
Okay.
You go past. There's a parking lot on the right, and then you'll see the softball field and the basketball court, and then there's a pavilion. It's a little big, not a tent, but it's a formal roof.
Covered area.
Covered area. There
Okay.
you go. And there'll be picnic tables there and people milling around. I'm sure there'll be donuts and water and whatnot, and gloves and bags and things like that to help do the cleanup, and all the tools you're going to need. And then we'll split into groups and head off into the different areas. And so it's from 10 to 1.
Yep.
And you don't have to be there at 10. If you can't show up until 12:45, come at 12:45.
All right,
Come whenever you can. Stay as late as you can. We appreciate any help we can get. It's not easy work to wind your way through the woods and pull out debris and haul it out. And so it's good, honest work, and we appreciate any help that we can get. So.
Is the city helping out with the cleanup?
The city's always helpful with these kind of things. They love it when people come up and do their job,
Well,
right?
right,
It's the city
yeah.
property, right? So we're helping them out, and the city does a great job cleaning up the areas around the roadways. But you can't expect DPW crews to go into the woods, and that's really that's
There's
really
just not
the
enough
job.
of them, right?
No,
Yeah.
and it isn't really. It isn't. It's really for friends groups. It's really designed. This is the kind of thing you want a friends group, and that's kind of why we do it, right?
Yeah.
To keep the park clean, beautiful. Accessible, more people using it, and keep the natural feel of the park. So they'll haul the stuff away.
They
So
will,
we'll
okay.
pull it out.
Yep.
We'll make a big pile of debris right by the pavilion
Okay.
or anywhere, anywhere along the roadway.
Bags, in piles.
Put it
places.
in a
Yeah.
bag. We'll leave it out there, and they'll come in on Monday,
Okay.
Tuesday of next week, and they take it all away, which
Great.
is great. And they provide rakes and gloves and all the stuff that we need to do it. So
Excellent.
thanks to Dave Murphy and that crew over
Yeah.
there that helps out, and it's definitely a partnership. It's got to be a partnership between local groups in the city. So.
All ages, I'm guessing, are welcome.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
All ages, yeah. And if there's any really young kids, my daughters will love to help out to watch those kids, right? So,
Oh, okay,
my
that's good
oldest
to know.
14,
Yeah.
my 14-year-old loves to
Free babysitting?
Right, yeah. I love, yeah. No, I can't say that.
Right.
Don't bring your babies down and dump them down on my daughter. She'll get mad at me. But when the Kroll kids were a little younger,
Yes.
my daughters would watch them over and
Okay.
they scurry around in the woods, and they always had a great time.
Well, I'm thinking this can be a social event also, right?
Oh,
In
it
addition
absolutely is.
to- yeah.
Anytime you do a cleanup, I mean,
Right.
you should come down, Joe, and see. It's always a social event.
I would think.
It's a blast. It's a blast. People have a good time, and somebody, like I say, donuts and coffee are usually there. And
Nice.
So, you meet some people, and it's a lot of fun. It's
What kind of
community event.
weird things have you pulled out of the woods, Steve, over the years?
Car tires are easy.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of cleanups on the Neponset River. You see a lot of
Yes.
stuff in the car engines and things like that. But
jeez.
now it's really because we've been doing these cleanups for a couple of years. You
Yeah.
don't get the really big thing. You don't see like the car tires as much anymore.
Washing
Although,
machines
every now and then you have people that'll come and just dump the truck.
Oh, gosh.
Just back their truck up and just dump crap.
Yeah.
And so, and that's kind of like for DPW has to come down.
Right,
Park
at that
department has to
point,
come
yeah.
down and really do that because some of those things are a bit. You'll find construction debris and things like
Okay,
that occasionally. But mostly it's cans and bottles and debris,
Yeah.
things like that. Maybe old jackets and things like that get
see.
lost. Things that blow into the park and things that people leave behind.
Yep.
Dunkin' Donuts cups are notorious.
Yeah,
Those
okay.
kind of things. They're everywhere. So you get a lot of that, and it's not too bad. That's the light stuff that you can, like anybody that goes up can kind of do that. There's
Yeah,
nothing
right.
too. We're not lifting refrigerators up.
Of
There's
course.
nothing like that.
Okay.
There's no heavy lifting like that. Worst case is maybe a shopping cart.
I see. Okay. As you know, the mayor's a proponent of banning nips. Do you think that would help with litter and Faxon Park?
5%,
Okay.
3%.
All right.
I don't know. It's tough to put a number on. It's
Yeah.
tough to say. Anytime we can, as an environmentalist,
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of getting rid of all small packaging, no matter what it is. And,
Okay.
and alcohol in small containers is part of that. Our laundry detergent is small containers.
Oh,
We should,
good point.
in my house,
Yeah.
we buy 2 liters of sodas and whatnot, not the small bottles,
Mm-hmm.
right? So. The reason we want to advocate for a water fountain up at Faxon Park is because we don't want the plastic bottles. People
Oh.
carry plastic bottles and they I'll say they throw them, but maybe it just gets blown out of their
Okay.
hands or something.
Yeah.
Different ways that it gets lost up there. And so bring a permanent container that you can take.
You
home
can
with
just
for some
refill,
water.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So.
The plastic bag ban, do you think that'll be helpful? Is
Yes,
that a problem?
absolutely.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. There's always some plastic. And an oddity is that we find that there's a lot of people that will take their dogs up there, right? And they'll get a plastic bag and they'll pick up the dog poop and then they'll leave the plastic bag. With
Yeah,
the
I
dog
never
poop in it.
understood
And
that myself.
it's like, you've done the hard part. Put it in the barrel. Like the
Right.
barrel's right there. Just go ahead and put it in the barrel, right?
Yeah.
You've done the hard part, right? Yeah. So please, just finish it off.
Yeah,
right?
don't
So-
put it down the sewer either.
Yeah, don't put it in the sewer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends of Faxon Park at gmail.com.
There you go. That's
is
right.
your email
Yep,
address.
that'll get through to us. Yep.
Okay.
You
How
got
do you
it.
become a member?
Send an email
Okay.
right there to that email address, and we'll keep you in the loop and get you connected.
Okay. Is there a cost at all to be?
Not at this point,
Okay.
but kind of that's where we hope that it's headed
Gotcha.
to.
Yep.
A small, $5 a year membership fee kind of thing, or we'll have fundraisers and whatnot in the
Yeah.
future as we form more as an organization. So.
I'm guessing you'll be back out again at Cleaner Quincy Day.
Well, there's usually a crew up there. Kind of the reason we do this before it is because there's such a push to go to other places, right? So we
Sure.
wanted a day where we could focus just on Faxon Park, and so we're hoping we can get a lot more people. At Cleaner Greener, everybody's going to their schools and
Gotcha.
their beaches
Yep.
and everywhere. So it kind of you usually get 5 or 6 people up at Faxon Park on Cleaner
Sure.
Greener, but like my kids are in the school system, and so we want to go and help out at our schools
Gotcha.
too,
Okay.
right? So Marshall and Point Webster and Central and whatnot.
Okay. So it's big enough to have its own cleanup day.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. 70 acres. There's
Right.
a lot up there, right?
Yeah.
So we need a whole bunch of people to fan out and find a good spot, right? So.
And the weather looks good for tomorrow, Steve. So,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Get all the rain out of there today,
Exactly.
and tomorrow's going to be great. We're
All
going
right.
to have a great day. So there is a rain day, but I don't think we've got any rain.
No, I don't think
in
we're
the
going to need it,
forecast. I think
thankfully.
we're going to have a great
I think
day.
We're all
so.
set. Speaking of, we're going to check the weather right now, but thanks for
There you
coming
go.
over.
Yeah,
Appreciate
yeah.
it.
Yeah, great. Glad to be here. Thank you, Joe.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Recap the forecast for you for the rest of the day. Today, we will have increasing sunshine throughout the afternoon with temperatures in the upper 50s. Chilly night tonight. It's going to be windy too tonight, mid-30s. But yep, for the cleanup tomorrow and for anything else outdoors, lots of sunshine, light winds, mid-50s, maybe an afternoon shower here on Sunday, and then partly cloudy with mid-50s on Monday. Thanks again to Steve Perdios for joining us from Friends of Faxon Park. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching Monday here in the program. Irene Lutz will be here from Quinn Cycles. Don't forget our website, too. It's qatv.org. You'll find all our latest programs there. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and a whole lot more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.